Hello everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Today we're going to talk about Jupiter in house 7. What is Jupiter? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the characteristics of Jupiter, the different aspects of Jupiter, and Jupiter itself. So let's talk about what is Jupiter. So Jupiter is an older planet. Jupiter is considered a teacher, a guru, a mentor. Okay, so Jupiter is connected with being dharmic because it owns house 9 and house 12 in the Kalpurush Kundali. So house 9 is your father, is your dharma, it's your spirituality, it's your foreign travel, your long distance travel. So Jupiter definitely rules all of that. The father, the foreign travel, or the long distance travel, the spirituality, the higher studies, PhD level studies, because it's a guru, it's a teacher, it's a mentor. So that's what Jupiter is. Jupiter is also all about ethics, integrity, meditation. Okay. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Okay. It provides expansion for, in the sense, it provides you good benefits from your children. It gives you good children. If Jupiter is benefit for your horoscope, you'll have good children. You'll have good partners, whether in business or in life. You'll have good real estate, good property, good family, good mother, good father, good mentors, teachers. Okay, so Jupiter, as long as it's benefit for your horoscope, you should see all those things in your life. Okay, Jupiter is a very ethical planet. If you see Jupiter sitting on a house, most likely that house is going to be very ethical and very integrity oriented home, unless there's malefic influences on that house, such as Rahu either sitting with it or aspecting it, or Shani, Saturn, sitting with it or aspecting it, or Mars, etc. So those kind of influences then will tag on, or Ketu. So Jupiter is also a very righteous planet. Okay, it is considered more like a saint. So, and it's considered a lazy planet also. It does bestow lots and lots of prosperity. So if it's aspecting a certain house and that house is connected with wealth somehow, you can be sure you'll get wealth. Again, as long as there are no associations in that house. So let's talk about the aspects of the house. What aspects does Jupiter have? And then we'll go into the house that the Jupiter is sitting in. So the fifth aspect, Jupiter has 3 aspects. It has the 5th aspect from its house, from where it's sitting in, and then it has a 7th aspect from where it's sitting in, and then it has a 9th aspect from where it's sitting in. So we'll talk about the 5th aspect. 5th aspect of Jupiter is considered one of the best aspects. So if you think about 5th house in the Kalpurush Kundali, 5th house is considered the house of your past life good deeds. So when Jupiter is placing that 5th aspect on the 5th house from where it's sitting, it is giving you that blessing based on your past good deeds that you have done. So you care for that house like your child, and that house may also care for you like you are its child. So that's one of the best aspect to have, because that's an aspect that you get without doing anything, without lifting a finger. You get that because you're bringing it from your past life's good deed. The second aspect that you get is 7th aspect from where it's sitting. Now that aspect is basically a give and take. So if you give good in that relationship, you get good back. But you want that aspect to be really good. So Jupiter blessing it helps you. If you want that aspect to be good, then Jupiter is going to help you. For example, if you have that aspect on your 7th house, if you're going to give good to your kids, if you're going to be nice to them, if you're going to treat them well, they're going to treat you well. They may still treat you well regardless because of Jupiter's 7th aspect. But can you imagine if you treat them well, they're going to treat you so much better? So that's kind of like your seventh aspect. Now, if there's malefic influences, things will change. Now, ninth aspect, Jupiter has a third aspect, which is the ninth aspect from it, from where it's sitting. Now, that is your life's topmost goal, is kind of what you feel. But Jupiter is always blessing it. Okay. So that will seem like a struggle for you in your life, that it's struggle. This is something I can't get lifted up. So let's say, for example, if that aspect is on your seventh house, okay, you may feel like relationship with your spouse, or seventh house is also business feels like a struggle. But eventually Jupiter is going to bless you where that relationship can take off. It can become good for you, but it's going to require struggle from you. It's going to require a lot of effort from you. You have to really want to do it. And then Jupiter will help, will give its blessing. You can't just sit there and say, I'm not going to do anything with this aspect. Well, then Jupiter's not going to be able to, it can only give so much blessings to it, right? Now, again, if there's anything malefic in your horoscope, if Jupiter is a functional malefic, those things will take time. Jupiter is still a very benefic planet because that's its innate nature. It's going to be benefic to you. So those are the aspects. All right. So let's talk about Jupiter in house 7. What does Jupiter do sitting in house 7? As always, Jupiter, whichever house it sits in, it is going to take something away from that house. So Jupiter sitting in house 7 may create issues with the properties of house 7. What are the properties of house 7? House 7 is your spouse. House 7 is your business partner, life partners. It's your business itself. It's your mediation skills, etc. So when Jupiter is sitting in house 7, it can give you issues with your mediation skills. It could give you issues with your spouse, perhaps related to mediating issues between the two of you. It could give you issues with creating your own business. Perhaps you do a service job and you want to create your business, but you have issues creating your business. It's troubling for you. So those are the things that it could give you. It is also the reproductive parts. So you could have issues with that. That's Jupiter sitting there. Usually one or the other issue could be seen when Jupiter sits in the 7th house. Your spouse may consider themselves as your teacher. And that could be where you could have some power struggle, between back and forth between the spouse, because Jupiter is sitting in the 7th house. They may very well be a very knowledgeable person having Jupiter sitting in that house, but you may not see it that way. Or the way they are projecting it onto you is not like in a less ego-y way, So that's something where it could create struggle, because spouse relationship is sometimes ego should not get in the way, So that's where those are the kind of effects you'll see when Jupiter is sitting in the 7th house. Now let's talk about the 3 aspects of Jupiter. As I mentioned, the 5th aspect, the 7th aspect, and the 9th aspect. The 5th aspect is going to be on your 11th house, which is a house of higher income, your desires, recognition, your awards, your achievements, your older brother and sisters, your father's younger brothers, your younger brothers and sisters of your father. It is also a house of your social network, your friends, your friend circle, all of those things. So when, and also your legs below your knees, all the way to the ankle, that's 11th house. So when you have that 5th aspect on the house, God is giving you a blessing based on your past life good deeds by giving you the best older brother and sisters, the best friends, great social network. You will always be able to increase your income. Regardless of what you've studied, mostly you should be good in terms of your higher income, because Jupiter is blessing that by sitting in the house it's sitting in. It's blessing your higher income. It is also blessing your awards, achievement, success, recognition. It may come later on in life, but Jupiter is blessing you with great older siblings and your higher income. So that's really great aspect. You're also going to you're also going to love, I would say, love your older siblings as you love your children. And they're going to love you the same way, like they love their children. So your older siblings are going to love you that way, especially your oldest brother or sister, whoever's the oldest, because this is the oldest sibling's house. Now, let's talk about that seventh aspect. Seventh aspect of Jupiter is going to be on your first house. So again, it's a give and take. Like I said, whatever you give to your first house is what you're going to get back. Okay. If you're going to give yourself a good pep talk saying, hey, you're great, you're good, I love you, you're doing great, you're going to feel that. So in here, you would probably see somebody who lacks confidence, who lacks that self-esteem, the self-confidence to do good by themselves. They feel like maybe they need somebody in their life to do well. With the seventh aspect, they need to understand that Jupiter is placing that aspect on their first house. That means Jupiter is already blessing them a lot. So they need to have some confidence in themselves. Okay. So in one of my previous videos, I mentioned the ninth aspect. That could also be similar results in raising your self-confidence. If you have a ninth aspect or seventh aspect, it's going to be similar. So that's a really great aspect. If you give it, it's going to give it back to you. So if you go to the gym, you're going to start working out, Jupiter's going to give it many folds, and that blessing is going to be many folds. It's going to be quick. You're going to do great workout. Again, if there are any malefic associations and any other malefic sitting with Jupiter, also aspecting the seventh house, because every house has seventh aspect, every planet has seventh aspect. And if Jupiter is, or if you have any other planets sitting in the first house, any other planets aspecting the first house, this reading could be different. It will just be a little bit tougher, but Jupiter's still really nice about its aspects. We also have to look at whether Jupiter is functionally malefic, or if it's neutral, or if it's benefic for the horoscope. And that's kind of where we would see the effects of Jupiter on your horoscope. The ninth aspect of Jupiter here is going to be on house third. House third is your younger siblings. House third is your childhood friends. House third is your it is your communication, the way you talk, how you speak, what you say. That's your communication, your way of communication. It's also media. It's also short travel, your short-term travels. It is also your hard work, house of hard work. So this is going to be kind of like a struggle for you. Okay, you're going to feel that that's where you're struggling the most. Perhaps you're struggling to work hard. Perhaps you're struggling to have those pleasant short travels. You're not able to get those nice, pleasant short travels. Perhaps you're struggling with your younger siblings, if you have any, or perhaps you don't even have any, because like I said, this is a house where you may not have younger siblings because it's a struggle house. So if you have them, you may have struggle with them. It's also communication. So above all, perhaps your communication is what you have the most struggle with. You don't know what to say, how to say it. You don't feel self-confident in saying those things. Okay, so that's the ninth house. But keep in mind, keep working on that house. If you work on that house, Jupiter has its ninth aspect on that house, and it could be one of the best aspects at the end of the day. Best. So if you keep working on your communication, on your younger siblings, if you have issues with them, if you have them, this is one of the best aspects that you can have. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now, please give me in comments if you have Jupiter in your seventh house and you're seeing these things that I've just mentioned in the video. I would love to hear that. And we do personal consultations. Please click on the link in the video description, fill out the form, and we'd love to get back to you. We look forward to connecting with you. Please hit the subscribe, like, share, and thank you so much for watching.